Thank you very much. I'm going to have a few questions. I want to make one observation from the previous panel. There was an effort by several of my colleagues to pin people down about their theory of the Constitution. And of course, that is a misleading question, or at least a dangerous question, because there are different people who put different labels on things and come to different conclusions. In fact, the nominees who were presented by the previous president avoided that question completely and came back with a standard answer that was given over and over again. I tend not to label myself because the term originalist or textualist may mean different things to different people. But obviously the preparation for the previous panel did not include that standard response. I encourage consistency from nominees of both political parties on that question and response. This is an amazing panel. When I look at your backgrounds and what you bring to this Judiciary Committee meeting and this court, I feel good about this country because each one of you has something affirmative to say about opportunity and also about a struggle that you or someone in your family has been through so that you could be here today. Judge, that your parents or grandparents were in the Bracero program. Ms. King, that your background with Native Americans, I was amazed as you talked about generations in the Muskogee Nation and their leadership in that regard. And Ms. Lynn, as an Asian coming to this country, I know that you struggled many times, your family did, with prejudice. And yet, despite all those things, here you sit today, taking an oath and aspiring to serve in the federal judiciary. It's a great testimony to our nation that we've been able to overcome some of the prejudice of our past and that you, with your determination, come before us. Ms. Lin, you immigrated to the U.S. from Taiwan at the age of 3, initially settling with your parents in Kansas and later moving to Chicago. You didn't speak English until age 5, is that correct? And your family faced some prejudice as you were growing up. How did your childhood and immigration experience factor into your decision to become a civil rights lawyer?
You know, it factored greatly into my decision to try and help others that were in my situation. As you stated, Senator Durbin, I did not speak English when I first started school, and so my earliest memory really is of the teacher who thought I wasn't listening to her because I didn't understand what she was saying, pointing at me and telling me to put my head on my desk. So I spent most of my first year in school with my head on the desk, not because I was disobeying her, but I didn't listen to her. You know, another deeply formative experience for me was when my parents moved us to the suburbs, someplace where they thought it would be safer because there was a lot of gun violence in the neighborhood that we were living in. But we were one of the first families of color. And along with that came apparently, you know, the inability to use swings, because I remember being on a swing when a much larger girl came up and shoved me off, yelled an expletive, and asked why I thought I could use it. And the principal, when I was sent to the office, asked me what I had done to provoke the girl, and I was sent home. And those experiences were deeply formative for me. You know, and I've also watched my parents. My mom, everything about her is about helping others. My father and his dream for us to become doctors was about servicing others. So service and helping and doing good has been the bedrock of sort of my upbringing.
Ms. King, it appears that you have come from two different worlds, the regular world of law as we have learned it, many of us, and the world of intertribal law and custom. How have you been able to reconcile those in your mind?
Thank you, Chairman. In my 8 years of experience as an appellate judge on the Northwest Intertribal Court System, it's been a very valuable experience because that system serves over 20 member tribes. So when I'm assigned to a new case, I have to familiarize myself with the new sovereign's code and constitution. It's helped me keep an open mind and at the same time contributed to faithful adherence to the law because I'm working within a different system every time.
Judge Estudio, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing your name again, but you know what I'm trying to do and to be respectful of you. As you hear conversations about immigration and the Hispanic population in America and reflect on your own family story, how does it affect your role or how you envision your role as judge?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. My parents' immigration story is both unique but the same as many other immigrants that have arrived here in the United States and sought a better life. And I recognize that. So when people come in front of me, I'm open-minded about different backgrounds, different histories, et cetera. And I want to make sure I have an inclusive environment in everything that I do. Because I recognize people are different. You don't have to be an immigrant to be different. Sometimes people are just different than you. And you need to be open-minded about people's differences and be willing to work with everyone. And that is an approach I take with me every single day on the bench.
Thank you.